This is David Holloway, founder of Hunting Greatness, and I want to welcome you to a very special interview I'm doing with NBA Hall of Famer Alonzo Mourning. He's going to be sharing some secrets, some wisdom, a little bit on his journey, and some health, wellness tips that'll help take your game, your life, to a whole new level. But first, I want to thank you for taking the time out to listen to this, and I hope you find it valuable.
One of the most competitive guys we ever played basketball.
By far the most mentally tough person and ultimate warrior.
There could never be a question in your mind that Alonzo Mourning was given 110%.
I take my hat off to him. People look up to him. The players look up to him.
I love him as an individual and what he stands for. I think he's a true role model.
This community has been forever touched by the fact that Alonzo Mourning came here. These are incredible examples that you can reach all your dreams.
Special guest, Hall of Famer Alonzo Mourning, a guy I looked up to, even though it was a different sport. So Zoe, thanks for taking the time being with us.
It's my pleasure.
And the mentors I looked up to, they always said, even though we're working out for the sport, it's really for a lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about your routine now.
Typical week for me, 3 or 4 days where I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I train. As soon as I go in, I stretch, do the foam roller.
Yeah.
I'm in there about an hour and a half. Foam roller, I hop on the treadmill, I run a mile.
Yeah.
Jog it a mile, get a nice full sweat, get the body. I stretch again a little bit for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I either lift upper body or lower body. And I just alternate that throughout the week. And then I incorporate at least 2 to 3 yoga classes in a month.
Nice.
A month. I try to incorporate that.
Yeah.
You know. Long and short of it is, the training is one thing.
Yeah.
What it comes down to is pretty much what you put in your body. You are what you eat.
Right.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
I got a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
So I don't eat any animal products, no dairy,
No,
all
what
that
got
stuff.
you to start that?
Well, several different reasons. You think about our bodies. Our bodies, like generally speaking, were not made. Our teeth, our structure, our bodies weren't made to ingest meat. And just looking that up and just from a scientific perspective, and with all of that said, understanding how certain foods affect your body long term,
Right.
and what we do to foods,
Yeah.
from a genetic standpoint, how we inject foods with antibiotics and things of that nature. Started off in elementary school being brainwashed by this food pyramid. Everybody had the picture of the food pyramid in their classroom.
Yeah.
In order to lead a healthy lifestyle, you have to have a certain amount of meat, fish, dairy.
Was there like a tipping point where you just switched it?
The tipping point was this. First of all, I've had a plethora of injuries. Okay?
Yeah.
8 basketball-related surgeries.
Yeah.
The other 2 was an appendectomy and a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
Tendons, muscles, bone breakage, all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
When you think about that, you say to yourself, okay, from a long-term perspective, the aches and pains that athletes go through because of the physical related activity and the rigors of the sport and what have you, and the pressure that you put on your body for all those years, as you get older, you got to figure out a way to try to assist your body in the healing process, because a lot of times guys aren't really fully healed. I still got friends of mine, colleagues of mine, that are still having surgeries from injuries that they had when they were playing.
Yeah.
God forbid, knock on wood, I haven't had any surgeries since then. Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with the investment that I make in my body as it pertains to training, and which I don't go all out and train like I did when I was playing. Right. But I just do enough to kind of maintain and keep my physical fitness and what have you. But ultimately there has to be a balance. If you're gonna train that way, then consistently, then you have to consistently put the right foods in your body to kind of help heal the body as well and recover. So now when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh God, my back, my knees, I'm not moving like that in the morning. I jump right out of bed, man, and I keep it moving, and I think I give a lot of credit to the plant-based diet that I have, and I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I feel amazing. When I tell you I feel amazing, I feel amazing. And I don't look like I'm about to turn 50.
No.
And I don't look like I had a kidney transplant and I had 10 surgeries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what does a day look like for you, what you eat from breakfast on?
Well, in the morning, oatmeal, avocado toast.
Yeah.
There's certain cereals, there's vegan cereals that you can buy. You have just eggs, which is amazing egg substitute. It's made from a monk bean, and it tastes just like eggs.
Yeah.
When you cook it, you put onions in it, peppers, what have you. You cook it in the pan, tastes like eggs.
Yeah.
It's plant-based.
Yeah.
And then you also have Beyond Meat. So if you want a little meat with your, it doesn't take that long to cook.
Yeah.
You know, you slice up the Beyond Meat, you throw it in there, or avocado toast. Acai bowls in the morning, it's amazing. In the afternoon, I'm mainly a salad or a wrap. I do a wrap with different veggies in it, avocado in it.
I talk a lot about having a vision.
Right.
Of what exactly you want to do, where you want to go. So talk to me a little bit about when you first started off.
As a kid, you know, there were so many different obstacles growing up. You know, my mother and father went their separate ways. I didn't want to live with either one of them, so I ended up being a product of the system. Social services took me in, stayed in the group home. Had to do therapy sessions. I mean, it was pretty, you know, it was a place that I didn't want to be. You know, it was a dark place sometimes.
Yeah.
But I got through it. You
Yeah.
know, and you know, ultimately, you know, through that process of the social service, you know, you audition to go with different families, and there was a family, the Threet family, that I ended up staying with for 6 years.
Yeah.
I was, you know, just turned 13 years old. I stayed with them until I was 18, 19 years old, and I went off to Georgetown University.
Yeah.
Ended up being the #1 high school player in the country. You know, it was just a process with all that, but I ended up falling in the right hands. I was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Because it's kids that grow up in foster care that when they turn 18, the system just spits them out.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't have the resources or the proper transition for the kids. You know, so you know, it's, you know, the beauty of it is, you know, I had a lot of different angels in my life at that particular time, whether it be coaches, teachers, what have you,
Yeah.
that really kept me in line, you know, and gave me the information and the knowledge that I needed,
Yeah.
whether it be as an athlete, you know, and as a student,
Yeah.
gave me everything that I needed and the support that I needed in order for me to take that path.
Who are like one or two people that really was a leader in your life and influence in your life?
There's a lot that helped contribute to my development as a person as well as a player, because ultimately when it comes down to it, we come into this world needing some type of support,
Right.
some level of support.
Yeah.
I got that from coaches, my junior high school coach, Coach Lassane, my foster mom,
Yeah.
Fanny Three, my JV coach, Coach Spellman, my high school coach, Coach Lassiter. You know, I think about all these individuals.
Right.
John Thompson, my college coach.
Yeah.
I think about Pat Riley.
Right.
You know, I think about all these individuals that,
Yeah.
you know, that really help contribute. You know, I think about Mr. Good, one of my teachers in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot.
A lot
you
of
know,
people.
it was a lot of people that helped
Yeah.
contribute. You know, and I remember winning the All City Award, being the #1 high school player in the city, and I had to go to a luncheon to receive my award. I didn't own a suit jacket, so my high school coach went around the school, got contributions from every teacher in the school, and
Wow.
bought me a jacket.
Wow.
I mean, that's powerful, bro.
That is powerful.
Yeah. And then I was able to go to the luncheon
Yeah.
and receive my award,
Right.
with the sport jacket.
That's awesome.
You know. So it's little things like that, man.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of kids out there that have that type of support.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Very fortunate and blessed to have individuals like that cared enough,
Yeah.
that saw the potential and made an investment.
Yeah. Absolutely. The greatness is never achieved alone.
No,
Every great success knows that there's so many people that took time, love, and energy
Uh-huh.
and invested into them.
For sure.
So whenever somebody accomplishes something, a lot of times you get real emotional because there's so much and so many people that went into it.
Right.
So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot, and that's probably one of the main reasons that you're so focused on
No doubt.
giving back now.
No doubt. It started with my foster mom. It
Yeah.
started with Miss Three. She never really had her hand out. The only thing she had her hand out for was respect.
Yeah. That says a lot right there.
That's all she wanted.
Yeah.
She had her hand out for respect.
Yeah.
You're living in my household. You respect me by handling your business.
Mm-hmm.
You love God. She was a very faith-based woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was very philanthropic.
Mm-hmm.
She did so much in the community, helping people out.
Yeah.
And then also, she was a school teacher.
Yeah.
It was about education for her.
Yeah.
You handle your business, you do your chores. She fostered 49 kids in her lifetime. Okay? And I was one of the 49. And she died at the age of 98.
Wow. God bless her.
And she was angelic.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing woman.
Yeah.
At any particular time, we had, 6 or 7 kids in the house at one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was one of those things where, I knew I was in the right place, because, of the information and the support and the love that I was receiving on a regular basis. You
Yeah.
know? So, for those 6 years I was there, it was an absolute blessing,
Yeah.
But once I left the nest, I didn't look back, man. It's almost like John Thompson kind of took the torch, and he was that father figure for me,
Right.
Even my own biological father, when he came to my graduation, he grabbed Coach Thompson and said, thank you for being that father for my son when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know.
I know there's so much that he's taught you. Is there a certain lesson or something that kind of jumps up to the top?
The one that stood out the most that I can think of right off the top of my head is my freshman year, he brought me to his office, and my focus was basketball.
Right.
Okay, I wanted to play ball.
Yeah.
Coming into the NCAA, going to Georgetown, being the #1 recruit in the country,
Yeah.
I knew I had a bullseye on my back.
Exactly.
So I had to be right.
Yeah.
Ultimately I ended up leading the country in block shots my freshman year and having an amazing year. I could have even left college and went straight to the pros, but I didn't because I made a promise to Miss Three that I would get my degree.
Yeah.
So he called me into his office, and he said he had my grades in front of him. And he's like, look at these. So I looked at them, getting a C here and getting a C there and what have you. I said, but, I'm on the team, right? He said, yeah, you're on the team. He said, but I didn't bring you in here to be average.
Yeah.
And then he looked at me, he said, you're a smart kid. You can do better than this. He said, I want you to do better than this. And he said, if I didn't care, I wouldn't bring you here to point this out. He said, what if you had the cure for cancer? He said, you wouldn't even know it because you're so focused on being average. He said, basketball ain't forever. He said, you see this ball on my desk? He had a deflated basketball on his desk. He said, I put this up here to remind you all, don't let the sum total of your existence be 7-8 pounds of air. Okay? He said, because one day the ball's gonna stop bouncing. And he said, I put this deflated basketball on the desk to remind you all of that. So that kind of hit home with me. The next semester I ended up making the dean's list. So he treated us like we were his sons.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about basketball.
Right.
That's why the graduation rate was so high when he was there.
When you talk about leadership, you always think about the guys that cared the most.
Correct.
And those are the guys that have the biggest impact. It's just an amazing story, and I love everybody's so visual. I always talk about a vision, but having the basketball on the desk so you could just see it and see that it's empty and know that it's,
Yeah.
7-8 pounds of air.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect analogy for what he was trying to say.
For sure.
So, I mean, just a really smart, I love that story.
Yeah.
Another guy you said, Pat Riley.
Well, there's a lot of different stories with Pat, but
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that stands out with Pat is his professionalism
Yeah,
and how much he ingrained that into his players.
yeah,
He didn't accept anything less than his players being ultimate professionals.
yeah,
And the way you present yourself, being on time, being extremely prepared,
yeah,
going above and beyond being prepared.
yeah,
Preparation was key. That was one of the other things that kind of stood out with him.
yeah,
I think that's why, I always talk, when I talk to young people, I always talk to them about preparation.
yeah,
Because don't just show up and expect that whatever happens, happens.
yeah,
Do your due diligence, do your research, do you prepare, get your body ready, get your mind ready, do what you got to do to prepare yourself for whether it be that job interview or whether it be, that next game that you have to play or whatever the next presentation you have to do, whatever it is.
So we talked about you working out now, shifting back to when you were playing, because outside looking in, I could tell like this guy works. I mean, you could tell.
Listen.
So what are some of the things you did to kind of set you apart, and what's kind of your mindset as you were going into physically working?
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was always afraid of is not being ready, not being prepared.
Yeah.
That was a fear of mine. So ultimately I got all the right coaches. It was all about hard work and preparation and defense, which helped evolve my mind into this defensive approach towards everything.
Yeah.
Pat Riley would always say, hard work doesn't guarantee you anything, but without it, you don't stand a chance.
Right.
You stand a chance, whatever. So I knew that in order for me to develop an edge, in order for me to compete at a very high level, I knew that I had to go above and beyond preparing.
Yeah.
And so I put the work in, man, and I made an investment in trainers and my body and what have you, I wish I knew more about the plant-based approach that I'm taking now. I wish I would have known more about that when I was playing.
Yeah.
Because, I probably would have eliminated a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I probably would have.
Yeah.
There's this movie out, a documentary out called Game Changers.
Yeah.
It's about professional athletes that are plant-based, that have a plant-based diet. It's Chris Paul, Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
One of the world's strongest men. He's vegan.
I've heard about that.
It's a pretty amazing documentary, So, I think about, athletes as a whole, and everybody's trying to get that edge, but many of them don't know the formula.
Yeah.
They think it's just, I'm gonna go in the gym, I'm gonna throw up some weights, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to practice. No, it's the stuff you do, the little things you do behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because your body's your business.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the CEO of this company.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got to understand how to make the right investment.
Mm-hmm.
How you invest in your time and your money and your body.
Yeah.
Which is so key. And it basically comes down to developing a blueprint of success that will allow you to sustain a very long and productive career.
Right.
And generate a lot of income for yourself and your family.
Yeah. When you were working out at your hardest, what did your gym routine kind of look like then?
During the off season, I did a lot of tour days, and I made sure that recovery was a big part of my training.
Yeah.
So stretching, I had a guy that stretched me,
Right.
and then I did yoga, and then I had a masseuse.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure I incorporated that throughout the week as much as I could. With diet, I always ate good. I ate a lot of roughage and what have you. I juiced a lot,
Yeah.
but I was still eating a lot of animal proteins. If I would have known what I know now, I probably would eliminate a lot of that. I would get up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, man, go meet my trainer, get my lift in, get my running in. I did a lot of sprint work.
So would you just sprint like the whole court, suicide?
No, so what I do was, with my trainer, he would set up 94 feet, the length of a basketball court. He would set it up out there on the field. He would put the cones down, he had a long tape measure, and he set up the length of a court out there, and then I would run on grass or turf. I would run my sprints like I was running on the basketball court, but I was doing it on turf. First of all, I would do my laps. I would do my laps on the track just to get the body warm. So I run a mile just to get the body warm. Then I do my sprint work. And then in the afternoon, around 2, 3 o'clock, I get some shots up and work on my actual game, do some court work for about an hour, hour and a half. And that was my tour day. I
could not run on anything but turf or grass. It just, when I played basketball when I was a kid, and anytime, and it's in New York, so anytime I was on like a concrete court, I just felt it. And even when I was a kid, I messed up my Achilles and stuff, so I just stopped doing it.
Yeah, well, flexibility is the fountain of youth, man. That's the one thing that a lot of athletes, they don't invest enough time in.
No, I hated stretching.
All right, so flexibility is total fountain of youth. You gotta stretch your body. You do. Anybody that tells you different is lying to you.
Right.
And I didn't have to stay flexible.
I didn't really get into it until I got to the pro.
Because our muscles are like taffy. Think about how taffy is. The candy, taffy, okay? All right, you heat it up, it's pliable, okay? It's cold, you take it out of the fridge, it's cold, what does it do? It breaks, okay? But if you heat it up, you warm it up, it's very pliable. All right, so we warm our muscles up, we constantly warm them up, stretch them out. We become more pliable, we become more fluid. Because we're constantly tightening our muscles. Even when we flex or we're making a move or driving somebody forward or backwards or what have you, we're flexing, we're tensing. And we were in the weight room, we're throwing up all this iron, we're flexing, we're tightening everything up. There has to be a balance. So the balance is flexibility. That's why back in the day, Dr. J used to do ballet. A lot of people don't even know that.
Jerry Rice did that.
Yep. And also, think about Jerry Rice did that as well. Then think about Robert Parrish. He was a yogi. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, martial arts. Look how long their careers were. Look how long Jerry Rice's career was.
Right.
Think about that. All right. So evidently they're doing something right. You got to learn from those type of guys.
Which segues good into one of my next questions. Who are some of the guys that you really looked up to and studied coming in?
The one person I really looked up to was Patrick Ewing, because watching him play, I was 12 years old. It was 1982, and I saw him play against University of North Carolina in the Final Four against Michael Jordan. Patrick was a freshman. He was blocking all these shots. Championship game, that was the game where Michael hit that shot. Ever since then, when I saw that defensive intensity, and I saw him blocking all this, he was goaltending shots, he was blocking shots, I was like, man, I want to do that. That's amazing.
We're going to your rookie year. Who was the guy, because my dad always told me your rookie year is going to be the longest year when you look back at your career. It always seems like the longest one. And there's always one or two guys that kind of help you kind of take it under your wing. So was there a guy when you were a rookie that kind of did that for you, was that leader and took you under the wing?
It's amazing. It's a great question that you asked. One of the guys that kind of took me under his wing, he just so happened to be the smallest guy in the NBA. It was Muggsy Bogues.
5'3", Tyrone Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy.
Yeah, Muggsy took me under his wing, and I remember one of the things he used to tell me, he's like, listen, man, don't let me beat you down the court. He said, don't ever run behind me. I want you always in front of me. Don't let me beat you down the court. He was one of those guys. He was my point guard as a rookie, you know, and he was one of the guys that kind of took me under his wing. And I'm going to tell you, you know, some of the advice he would give me throughout the course of the game. And he had my attention. And like I said, it's so ironic that he was the smallest guy in the NBA at that particular time.
Which is, you know, a testimony all in itself. Talk a little bit about the championship season. What made that so special? And did you know that it was going to be that kind of, did you feel like you had a championship team then?
You know what, I'm going to tell you, you never know you're going to win a championship until you win it.
Yeah.
You never know you're going to win. You could be the greatest team on paper. Guys, all the critics say, oh, this is the team that's going to win it this year. But you never know you're going to do it until you do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were great on paper.
Yeah.
All these personalities and people, what have you, but, you know, it was about just putting it together.
Yeah.
And we started coming together at the right time. There were lulls in the season where we really didn't feel confident that we were going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then automatically in the playoffs, it kind of clicked. Mm-hmm. You know, one series after the next, And then we get to the finals.
Yeah.
And we were down 0-2. And then there was, you know, D-Wade kind of breathed life into us with Game 3. He had this amazing game in Game 3.
Yeah.
And then we rallied in Game 4, won Game 5, and then we were up 3-2 going back to Dallas in 2006. And we had to treat, first of all, it's very difficult to beat a team 4 games in a row in the finals.
I can imagine.
And we were one of the only teams that ever did it. I think it was like 3 teams that ever done it.
Yeah.
You know? So we had to treat Game 6 like it was our Game 7. Because we knew if we let Dallas win Game 6, Game 7 on their home court,
with all that momentum,
it was going to be very difficult. So we, you know, everybody in Game 6, that game, it took a contribution. Everybody contributed, even the guys that didn't even play. Yeah, we were lifting each other up.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I remember about, you know, when I got my opportunity, I came in and added a little spark, you know, and tried to contribute the best I could, you know.
Yeah.
But it was that moment for us. It was our time, and it has that on. I don't have the championship ring on now, but on inside the ring it says it was our time. Yeah. Yeah. It was because it was our time.
Yeah, and I've heard that from that all these things have to click and go right, but also you've got to have some. They call it luck. Yeah. They call it the basketball gods or the football gods, where it's just your time to win.
It was your time.
What was kind of the proudest moment for you?
Proudest moment at my professional level?
Yeah.
Well, when you think about my journey and you think about having to overcome the obstacle of kidney transplantation.
Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning will not be playing professional basketball this season.
And people telling me, don't come back and play again, and retire, give it up, you you gotta focus on your health, And me not listening to them, and me going out on a limb, and putting everything out there to prepare my body and get my body back right off of a transplant, to recover from that. Then to actually get back on the court and compete at a very high level. And then to win a world championship, that would have to be the moment. Yeah. All the other individual accolades, big shots that I hit, defensive player of the year, all-star, all of that stuff, that was great. But winning a world championship after overcoming those obstacles had to be that moment.
Yeah, that must have been a sweet moment. Was that also one of the low moments when you were doing when it was a kidney transplant?
The lowest moment was getting that call from the doctor, coming back from Sydney, Australia, after winning the gold medal in 2000, and the doctor telling me, after my biopsy, you're gonna need a kidney transplant. You have this rare kidney disorder called focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, and you got to stop playing basketball. I mean, it was deflating.
That's heavy.
the lowest moment.
Yeah. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Last thing, what do you, for your legacy, what were some of the things you want to be said about your legacy?
I was a worker, and I left it all out on the court.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I want people to know that I use basketball as a way for me to help change the lives of other people in a positive way, especially young people. I use that platform through the relationships that I've developed. I use that blessing to bless other people.
Awesome. Great interview. Thanks for taking the time out, brother. Look forward to whatever the future holds for us, me and you. We're just starting, but we got a lot more to do.
Oh, no doubt. For sure.
Right. Hey, everybody. I hope you found that interview valuable. I know I sure did. There's so many little nuggets of wisdom in that I'm going to take and apply to my life. Why? Because that's what the greats do. We're always studying, always adding, always deleting, always trying to get better every single day. So thank you for taking the time out to watch this, and keep hunting your greatness inside and out.